My guy, Ed Flores. What's good, man?
What's going on, Mel?
I'm chilling, man.
Chilling.
Busy week on Twitter.
It has been. Yeah. Twitter or X, what do they call it now?
Bro, I'm not calling that shit X.
All right, yeah.
The only X I know is videos.
Sure. Whoa, wait.
Yeah.
I agreed to that way too fast. I didn't think about it yet.
All right. Terence Crawford calls out Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia. I don't know if you saw that. And criticized them for not fighting him in the past and saying that, like, y'all will never get a fight.
Yeah.
What'd you make of that?
Kind of make of it the same thing that Spence had with Thurman. Similar. You know, whenever for Crawford at the time that he could have fought Thurman back in, what was that, 17, 18 or so? These are a couple of the top welterweights at the time. And you say you have no interest in that fight. Why don't you have interest? What doesn't make sense about it? Ultimately, that means you got some reservations. You're not giving the fans and the best fighters the fights that are available. So I think it's just like a little bit of vindication for him. He's like, all right, well, you ain't gonna get the fight back. I don't know what his problem is with Danny. Maybe there's something behind the doors where, you know, they tried to offer to fight with him and Danny a while back and it didn't make sense. But, you know, I get the Thurman thing. I don't understand the Danny Garcia thing.
Yeah, because Thurman talks a lot of shit. Like, Danny's more of a, you know.
Yeah, he's a super chill, laid back guy. He doesn't, I don't think any animosity, I wouldn't have thought. Like Thurman, he's a knucklehead, he's just a weirdo. But Danny, I don't know what caused that. Could it be, you know, maybe some of the success that he had early on at 140 and how, you know, Danny's kind of grew into a superstar of boxing and perhaps maybe some jealousy or envy. But yeah, I don't get it. But they got history. They got history going back to the amateurs. So, you know, who knows what it could be then? Only these two fighters know what that is.
If I remember correctly, Danny left the division to go pursue 147, and then Crawford wipes out 140. But some people were critical of Crawford's 140 run, saying it wasn't the talent level wasn't the same as Danny's 140 run. And maybe Crawford's always wanted to test his mettle
against the best.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, you know. Timing's everything in the sport, and sometimes it just works out that way. The guys that are at 140 pounds at that point, Morales, Zab Judah. The heck's that Argentine guy's name? Matisse. So, you know, the stars align. That's just the way it worked. Amir Khan, he was able to find the right fights at the right time. And at that point, I think Danny kind of outgrew the weight class.
Yeah, because him and Peterson was at a catchweight.
Yeah. And that's another great fight. So ultimately afterwards, can't make the weight no more. You know, Crawford doesn't really have a necessity to move up to 47 at that point. I don't think he was developed enough yet, physically. So, you know, listen, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You beat the best guys available at that weight at the time to become undisputed.
Yep.
You shouldn't have any malice towards Danny for whatever the circumstances were. Could have potentially been made at 47. Who knows?
I do understand his frustration to a point, but I think it might be misplaced. In the situation, like, you understand when it comes to the business.
Yeah.
Because effectively, Terence Crawford, you know, has his own situation with him wanting bigger fights, and then you got a mandatory in Boots, and Boots wants a fight, and you were like, right now, like, I'm on a different type of time.
Yeah, you're on a different time. I just don't, you know, he's made it. Like, he's a guy, a two-time undisputed champion at 147 pounds. The weight class is stacked for him to achieve that. It's great. You shouldn't have any anger. You shouldn't, you know, sometimes people hold grudges for too long. Hey, you did it, man. Like, your hard work is showing for you. So I don't think that should be a real thing for him anymore. And then ultimately, I understand he's looking for the best fights. He's 36 years old. How many fights does he have left in him? I think that ultimately some of it's like a cash grab, Canelo, Jamel. But at the end of the day, if he's a true competitor, you're in a 147-pound weight class, you hold all the belts, fight the best guy in the weight class. Regardless of what anybody says, whether you fought, they believe Boots fought someone or not, you can tell what your talent is. He's there for a reason, fight him.